Zero3 is sponsoring this video to provide judges with the tools that will help them make better decisions about the lives of vulnerable infants and toddlers. The law is very old, but the science of early childhood development is relatively new. And it's important that we translate that science into practical knowledge and tools that judges can use in their everyday decision making.
We now have very powerful evidence from the explosion of research in neurobiology and the cracking of the human genome and the molecular biology revolution that we're living through right now. One thing that has taught us is that what goes on in the court when judges are deciding about the disposition of cases of children who've been abused and neglected.
This is infant mental health?
Is that they are literally holding the integrity of the child's brain development in their hands.
She attended one parenting class on May 27th and did not return. Made several other appointments. Okay, so I'm going to find the mother in noncompliance, which is a very serious thing. I'm Cindy Lederman. I'm the presiding judge of the juvenile court in Miami, Florida. The allegations related to physical abuse of the child, and I have a child named Trevon who now is almost 3, right? I would see little girls come in because they were abused and neglected and grow up, become 13 or 14 years old in the system, become pregnant. And the question was, God, when is this going to end? And what will it take to intervene so that that new baby that I see that I'm now responsible for after having the grandmother and the mother in court, what can I do to make sure that new baby's children don't come into the system? The children who come to us have so little, and we need to give them so much so that they can make up for what has brought them into the system. The more I learn about the brain, the more I realize how crucial this work is. And how important this period of time in a baby's life is.
If we think of the brain as a massive collection of billions and billions of cells, it's the connections, the circuits among the cells that really are responsible for all the work that the brain does. Most of those circuits are developed early in life, and so literally the experiences that children have, the kind of world they live in, and particularly the relationships they have, literally shape and sculpt the architecture of their brain. And when the environment is not safe and protective, when it's violent, when it's unpredictable, when it is abusive, when it's very neglecting, it activates physiological systems that make your stress hormones level go up, particularly a stress hormone called cortisol. A cortisol level that goes up and stays up for days or months at a time literally poisons the circuits that are developing at that time in the brain. Whether it's the circuits for communication, whether it's the circuits for building trust in a relationship. You live with that disrupted circuit for the rest of your life.
One of the things children learn in the first year of life, particularly the second half of the first year of life, is to form an important relationship with at least one person, maybe more than one person. And for children who've been taken out of their home because they've been abused and neglected, put in one or more placements, they don't learn that. And so what you see is a growing inability to trust people.
Babies this young are extremely responsive to the emotions and the reactivity and the social interaction that they get from the world around them. This is something that we started studying 30, 40 years ago, when people didn't think that infants could engage in social interaction. In the still face experiment, what the mother did was she sits down and she's playing with her baby who's about a year of age.
I'm like a girl. Oh.
And she gives a greeting to the baby gives a greeting back to her.
Yeah.
This baby starts pointing at different places in the world, and the mother's trying to engage her and play with her. They're working to coordinate their emotions and their intentions, what they want to do in the world. And that's really what the baby is used to. And then we ask the mother to not respond to the baby. The baby very quickly picks up on this, and then she uses all of her abilities to try and get the mother back. She smiles at the mother. She points because she's used to the mother looking where she points. The baby puts both hands up in front of her and says, "What's happening here?" She makes that screechy sound at the mother, like, "Come on, why aren't we doing this?" Even in this 2 minutes, when they don't get the normal reaction, they react with negative emotions, they turn away, they feel the stress of it. They actually may lose control of their posture because of the stress that they're experiencing.
Okay. I'm here. And what are you doing? Oh, yes. Oh, what a big girl.
It's a little like the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is that normal stuff that goes on, that we all do with our kids. The bad is when something bad happens, but the infant can overcome it. After all, when you stop the still face, the mother and the baby start to play again. The ugly is when you don't give the child any chance to get back to the good. There's no reparation, and they're stuck in that really ugly situation.
So we have mountains of research that tell us how children who've been exposed to abuse or neglect for long periods of time have less exploratory behavior, they don't learn as well, they have more fears, and they're more likely to have physical and mental illness as adults. So abuse or neglect literally changes the brains of young children. It doesn't just, quote, affect their behavior, it literally changes the wiring of their brain.
So did we ever talk about how important it is to read to your babies? Do you have enough books?
I see it as the role of the court or whoever is intervening is to work with young parents who, unfortunately, many of them have not had the opportunity to hear about the brain development, to know about the correct parenting techniques. I see it as our responsibility to help assist them in becoming the kinds of parents who can ensure that as the child is in the womb, the brain has the best opportunity to develop, and then when the child is born, that those opportunities continue to be maximized.
Traditionally, judges adjudicate cases, but that doesn't change human behavior, it doesn't heal children, and it doesn't rehabilitate families. All right, and why is he not in a parenting class? We believe that a multidisciplinary team needs to work together in the courtroom to solve the underlying problems that these families have, use science, and give families services that they would not have otherwise had, because the families that come into the court system have been failed by everyone and everything, and we cannot fail them as well.
The children that we get who are referred from the dependency system are children who've usually had child abuse, child maltreatment. They've been neglected. How do we heal you as a child now that in the first few months of your life someone has really harmed you? What do we need to do to show this little baby that the world is a place that can be trusted?
You can walk with me. You want to walk with me?
When it is the parent who has been the maltreating adult,
Come to the playroom.
the best thing we could do would be to help repair that relationship with that parent and do everything we can to turn that abusive or neglectful relationship into a more nurturing and stable and protective relationship.
I see mothers who start our program and refer to us that have a lot of personal issues they need to work on. They're not even at that point in time maybe envisioning themselves as a mother, as part of a relationship of myself and my baby. And what I see over time is a therapist's ability to start having them focus on the fact that you are you, and you have recovery issues, and you have issues of making choices about relationships that have pulled you into this court setting, but you are this baby's mom.
I mean, you're really doing
I'm
great
trying
work when it
trying
comes to
so
that.
much. I'm trying so hard.
In that relationship building with their child, they build a relationship with the therapist. And there's someone there who supports their learning process. They learn that someone thinks they're important, that their existence matters.
You know what I'm noticing, Wendy, is that you really do a good job on understanding what she wants from you, or like if she shows you a toy, you're repeating what you think that she's saying, even though she's not using actual words, right?
Yeah.
So you do a really good job doing that. How did you...
We have a plastic brain. We have a child who's willing to learn new patterns. So the year-old who's frightened, worried, and afraid everybody's going to hit them can now come into new relationships and develop new ways of relating to people. They can really change, and their brains can change so that we break the cycle at the beginning and not at the end.
Almost all of the children that were referred are at least a year delayed in language. Why are they delayed in language? Not because they were born that way. You know, most of them are born healthy and ready to learn, but they're not talked to. The way we learn language is being talked to. And certainly with young mothers, one of the reasons they don't talk to the babies is they feel foolish talking to the babies.
He's cute to me.
Just exploring the room right now.
They don't know what to say, and they don't really know that it doesn't really matter what they say.
In the dark will hear the night.
The fact is that talking to them and singing to them and reading to them, even if they can't understand anything, nurtures language development.
I saw you look at his eyes.
When I did first meet Jean and Kevin, she really didn't speak to Kevin very much.
Yay, Gary. Look what I'm making. Come on. Go play with it. Stop, Kevin. Stop it.
Jean didn't have that experience of a parent getting down on the floor and playing with her. And we really had to start from scratch. And that's been a treatment goal of ours, to add the eye contact, the communication, the language, reading his cues, nonverbal cues, and she has done an excellent job with that.
He just used to be by himself and play on by himself, so he'd never come to me. But now he'll play with me, and he'll talk to me more, tell me what he wants. I guess he opened up too. It helped me just open up more, because I'm usually to myself. I don't really talk to people. Because I was in foster care, and when you're in foster care, you just move from home to home, and you think no one loves you or anything.
There were reasons why we developed policies to keep moving people. We thought we were doing something good because we didn't want the children to develop attachments. We didn't realize is that the formation of the attachment is healing. It's critical for healthy brain development. And that's why our system of foster care that moves children from one home to another, as well intended as it might be, is actually it's the absolute wrong thing to do from a protection of the brain perspective. It's just adding one more stress to the child's life.
Even if you have a vulnerable mother, a mother who isn't as responsive as she should be, who disappears on a cocaine binge, or who's so depressed that she can't be as responsive as she should be, that's the only caregiver that baby knows. So when they lose the opportunity to have that kind of enduring relationship, we've got a lot of work that we have to do as child welfare professionals to compensate for the trauma that they experience at the loss of that person.
All the more reason why the place that the child goes has to provide the kind of relationship that will help repair the damage that was done. It has to be an environment, it has to be with a person who can provide a secure and safe relationship, and who also, by the way, might need expert help if the child already has serious problems.
There's research that suggests that increased visitation is related to children's reunification. So daily visits, if possible, at a place that's very child and family friendly.
He just lets himself fall backwards on his own.
He goes foot down first instead of, normal kids going down like that.
And if that could happen with the support of some kind of clinician who could be a coach to the parent, if you will, it could be a therapeutic visitation experience.
Say hi.
Our kids come from the worst of the worst situations. They need the best of the best. And how ironic that their paths cross with that in programs like this.
One thing that helps me as a judge is that if they have been in this program, I know that we have done everything humanly possible for them.
If they're actively using, how would you subject a child to a parent who's actively high
Who's
on
erratic,
cocaine?
who's unpredictable.
They've been in the best intervention in the country. And if they can't get their children back after that, so be it. We've tried. Shall we start with Linda Ray? Tell me how the mother's doing.
Tamika initially presented as guarded with a depressed affect. She was not open to the program. I currently see smiles, laughter, mutual positive affect between her and her son. She has demonstrated an ability to read his cues. She can meet his emotional needs. She follows his lead during play.
That is absolutely wonderful. I'm thrilled. I mean, it's just so visible just being with her.
I'm so proud.
Is it? How do you like that? Your mom's proud of you. We're all proud of you, Tamika. Probably the most important person who's proud of you is Trevon, you know? So in terms of reunification, I mean, what do we have, we're going to finish the sessions, we're going to see where we are, but that certainly seems like that's going to happen in this case if the good work continues. The ironic thing is we can actually change the horror that brings them to us into an opportunity to heal and be ready to learn and go on to lead productive lives.